Part-Timer Podcast. Oh, we're back. Well, I'm back. It's a solo show today. No big sauce. Episode 9. Luol Deng. We'll go with that. Got a lot to talk about today, but I'll try and condense it because I know you don't want to hear just my fucking voice for the whole time. So, we'll cover Hawks, Bulls, Sox, a little bit of Cubs, and of course, Super Bowl 54. Hey, big shout out to the Big J and BB Show. They've been giving shout outs for free on their podcast, so check them out wherever you listen to your podcasts. And we're on YouTube now because I felt like it. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, and give us a rating on iTunes too. Well, Apple Podcasts would appreciate that. Also have some voicemails to catch up on. Let's get things started here, huh? I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's kind of like beating a dead horse. But I've come to the conclusion that the 19-31 Chicago Bulls are not bad. Hear me out. Hold on. Relax. Hold on. The roster isn't bad. It's got its holes, sure, but it's not bad. It's the coaching. And I know you're like, okay, well, duh. But I've kind of swung back and forth to think that Lauri Markkanen took a huge step back and, he just sucks now. And Zach LaVine still can't play defense. And, we're really missing a big man because Wendell Carter Jr. is hurt. But it's just misuse of players. And it's all Jim Boylen's fault. I think he's the worst coach in the NBA. He's the worst coach, I think, in professional sports, to be quite honest with you. I know there's a lot of bad ones out there, but I think he takes the cake. And it's more than just his on-the-court coaching style. Somehow they're 9th in the Eastern Conference, and that somehow is just because the Eastern Conference is terrible. I don't think they make the playoffs. And even if they do, it's going to be over quick. 4 games, if they make the playoffs, but I doubt it. There's also a little bit of controversy whether Zach LaVine is deserving of being an all-star or not, because the Bulls don't have any representatives at their own all-star game, in their own arena, in their own city. I'll be honest. Zach LaVine, I don't think deserves to be in the all-star game. And here's why. His defense has not improved. And of course he's scoring 20-plus points a game because there's no one else that can put the ball in the hoop on a consistent basis. He's the guy, and he doesn't have a choice. I know some people are going to say, well, you deserve to be an all-star. Not on a 19-31 team. If you look at the players that are reserves above Zach LaVine, they're on playoff contending teams. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes. Oh, and by the way, fans could have voted Zach LaVine or Derrick Rose in for that matter. So I don't think anybody can complain because it was in your hands. You could have done it. Could have voted him in. And now the Bulls are going to be the laughingstock of the NBA even more so than they already are because in their own building, they have no NBA All-Star representatives. Unbelievable. That's all I got on the Bulls. I'm not going to waste my breath on them. They play New Orleans on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. No, I'm sorry, Thursday. And that's a loss because Zion Williamson is going to show off. That's it. That's all I got on the Bulls. But I will stick with something that kind of irritates me. And we're starting early, getting irritated with baseball. Even though I've been pretty irritated all winter long hearing some of these takes that somehow make the internet. Tim Anderson is the talk of the town, and not Chicago, Minnesota. Yeah. Twins fans are coming out of the woodwork talking about, oh, well, I know the White Sox are getting some hype here, but Tim Anderson's going to regress. Lucas Giolito isn't that good. Gio Gonzalez and Dallas Keuchel really aren't that good of pickups. Yasmani Grandal's okay. All right. Okay, wait a second. Let's take a timeout. The Twins, yes, won 100 games last year. And then what happened? Immediately bounced from the playoffs. I don't want to hear a word out of Minnesota fans until they can get past the first round. I think somebody said on Twitter, sure, White Sox fans, so there's some bias here, but if the Twins were erased from baseball, even since, let's call it 2000, nobody would care. Nobody would even notice. We had that blackout game against them. It won. Okay, yeah, and then it was bad. But Minnesota has consistently, for lack of a better term, shit the bed anytime they have an opportunity. And they have a good team. I'm not saying that they're a bad team. But they are not going far in the playoffs. And how's your starting rotation? You want to talk about Dallas Keuchel and Gio Gonzalez not being good upgrades? Your rotation is pretty parallel to what it was last year. In fact, I think it is. I'm not sitting in your camp watching who you guys pick up or not, unless they're big signings. And if you think Josh Donaldson automatically gets you the division, man, I can't. I don't understand how Twins fans, who I normally like, you got some success and it goes straight to your head? Is that what happened? You think because you win 100 games in a bad AL Central against a Cleveland team who was basically bleeding out since the summer last year, and they somehow just treaded water, and you outlasted them, is pretty much what happened. I'm telling you, man, I don't know what's in the water in Minnesota, but maybe you should stop drinking it, because the rest of the baseball world, they think the White Sox are going to give you a run for your money. I have them winning the division. And if they don't win the division, I think they can make it as a wild card, which people can disagree with me on. I understand that. The Angels got better. The Rays are still sticking around. They're not going to win that AL East. Red Sox are that AL East is going to be Yankees, Rays, Red Sox, Orioles. Am I missing? Yeah, Toronto. So, okay. Toronto probably in the middle of the pack. And then Boston. I don't know. There's something about Boston. Maybe they pick it up. No disrespect. I don't mind the Red Sox. Who knows? And on Tim Anderson, listen. He's a controversial player. I understand. But you sitting here and saying that, he's just automatically going to drop off. Oh, wait a second. Where are you getting this from? Oh, he's going to come down to earth. He won the AL batting title. Okay, here's the couple points that I want to make about Tim Anderson. His fielding is bad, so that needs to be improved. I won't defend him on that. However, Tim Anderson won the batting title while being hurt, not banged up. He would go on the disabled list and come off and rake. And by the way, he was really never solidified in one spot in the batting order. Because the White Sox team last year didn't have anyone that they could stick anywhere permanently. So Ricky Renteria would stick him in the 6th spot, in the 8th spot. He would hit 9th. first, second. You're like, Ricky, what are you doing? But he hit wherever Ricky put him. If he regresses, he'll hit like 297, 298. Mark my words, man. Tim Anderson is one of those guys where he's extremely honest with himself. He's a cocky player. He's got some swag on the field. But he backs it up. And he knows what he has to work on. He would be the first one to tell you that, hey, my fielding's bad, man. I gotta pick it up. I'm a liability at shortstop sometimes. And he said that in interviews. He'll get it done. He'll get it done. On the other side of town, the Cubs. Okay. Chris Bryant losing his grievance with the Cubs is something I think, to be honest with you, I saw coming. Still a very good third baseman. I think there was a conversation, NBC Sports Chicago's David Kaplan they were talking about, would you put Chris Bryant into the top 25 players of baseball? Nah, I still would. I still would because he was hurt, and when you take the injury stuff out of it, if he has a healthy year this year, yeah, Cubs are gonna really got to think about what they're doing here. I think that my personal opinion is that Chris Bryant goes before opening day. Cubs need to move money. I know a lot of people are saying, look, they got the marquee deal, and there's a ton of money coming in, but is there? Like, you guys are forgetting that they have a core group of players that want extensions, and you can't pay everybody. Signed Jeremy Jeffries. It's an okay signing, I guess. It's a middle-of-the-road sign. Whatever. I'm not mad at you. Steven Souza Jr., I like that signing. Give him a year. See what he does. He could be great. Could be comeback player of the year. Could be bad. Only lost $1 million. But it's not as... I said this to White Sox fans when they got upset about the Zach Wheeler thing. It's not... All of these things aren't that simple. You went over 150% on your renovation budget, which, no, you can't tell me that was planned. And how does that happen, by the way? At some point, it got approved, obviously. But I don't know if the books were balanced the way they should have been. Moving Chris Bryant makes a lot of sense for the Cubs because he's the one player that I think you could replace on the field this year and be okay. But you're gonna replenish that farm system. Not that it's depleted. I think the Cubs had three prospects in the top 100. At a catcher, pitcher. I want to say I'm blanking on the names, but I know they had 3 in the top 100. Chris Bryant is going to get you a good return in that trade. Here's kind of the other problem, though. I think Theo waited too long, and I think he was a little bit. How do I say this? I think he was a little bit too bullish when the original trade talks started with Wilson Contreras. Padres were interested. They were real interested. They were really close to making a deal for Wilson Contreras. And then Padres personnel came out and they were like, yeah, it was astronomical what Epstein wanted. I don't blame him. I mean, try and sell as high as you can. But he kind of kicked himself because Padres were like, never mind. Well, see you mid-season, Theo. See you at Wrigley. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not dealing with you anymore. So, again, back to Chris Bryant. I think you can get a couple top prospects. You might even be able to get an MLB player ready out of it. MLB ready player out of it. Do you move Schwarber? I don't think so. I think he's still holding his value. And I really don't think you get that much out of him. Because he's kind of I'm going to hit some homers, extra base hits. Other than that, I'm going to strike out. Could be wrong. Could be. But we'll see what the Cubs do, man. Their preseason win total was set at 86.5, and a lot of people in the media, Cubs fans, really upset with what the Cubs are doing on the north side. And they're taking the under. Under 86.5 win. Really? Didn't they win 88 games last year? I get it. Yeah, I mean, you lost Strop. You lost Cishek. I mean, starting pitching. I mean, you're going to be healthy, hopefully, for every team. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to win more than 86 games. I think they're going to be okay. Do they win the division? I have no idea why. Because the Cardinals are still around. The Brewers are still around, even though I don't necessarily think that they are going to be better. I don't think they made any moves that are going to skyrocket them win total-wise. But I will say, look out for them Cincinnati Reds, man. I mean, you talk about a team who is competing with the White Sox for having the best winter. The Reds are up there. They might even have had a better winter than the White Sox. Castellanos deal alone. I mean, that's a big pickup. And by the way, offhand, I don't know the numbers. I can't remember the numbers. But they didn't get him for too much. I mean, I think they got him for $64 million, 4 years. I mean, I thought he was going to go for more. I figured it's like 75 to 85, 5 years, or 75, 85, 4 or 5 years. Bravo, Reds. Bravo. We'll see what happens, though. I'm excited for baseball. What are we, 50, 54, 53 days away? Something like that from opening day. Guaranteed rate field is going to be buzzing, even though it's going to be cold. Possibly. The groundhog didn't see his shadow. Do you guys believe in that? I don't believe in that at all. I think it's a sham. They make any money off of that too? Or is it just a publicity thing? Because if there's money in it, I'm definitely calling it a sham. It's one of those stupid traditions that everybody sticks to. Bro, I ain't seen my shadow in a year and a half. And I can tell you it's cold. I don't even have to go outside. It's cold. That's what I got. All right, man. Super Bowl 54. Let me start by saying I was very wrong. I love admitting when I'm wrong because I don't think people do it enough. Super Bowl 54 was not the best Super Bowl. And it will not ever be the best Super Bowl. Even next year's will probably be better. The first 3 quarters were a yawner. Absolute yawner. Patrick Mahomes was, I think there were jitters there. I think there was, rightfully so, there were Super Bowl nerves on both sides. I don't think we saw either offense be as dynamic as we thought. But I think the defenses showed up. I think both of them showed up. I think there's a mixture of kind of everything going here. Interceptions by Patrick Mahomes, unheard of. He had what, 3? 2? 3 or 2 too many. Jimmy G. Here's what I will credit Kansas City on this. Them stopping the run, and no discredit to Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a great quarterback. They made him be the guy. If the 49ers would have won, he would have been the MVP. And not just because he's a quarterback, but because he was going to be the one to make these plays. He missed a deep ball to. I don't remember who it was, but he missed a deep ball at the end of the game to one of his receivers, and that would have been a big play. I think that would have changed the game. But nonetheless, Kansas City comes back again. 4-0 in the playoffs, and 4-0 when they're losing, and they got to come back and win. Unbelievable. Kansas City, that offense is so dynamic. And, I mean, you just have to sit back and say, hey, Andy Reid, I know I'm a 49ers fan, but I'm happy for you, man. Loved everywhere he's been. Won everywhere he's been. All he was missing was that ring. And he finally got it. I'm so happy for that big dude. Man, he's so big. So big. Did anybody else think his wife had work done? Some people I was watching the game with thought so. Oh, look at her face. No comment. I have no idea. But Patrick Mahomes is just 24 years old, winning the Super Bowl MVP, and rightfully so. That fourth quarter, he really had to turn it on, and he did. And that Kansas City defense had to step it up, and they did. I know people are going to talk about that out-of-bounds touchdown. And listen, we see plays like this all the time. You're only upset when it's against you. It's the truth. The call on the field was a touchdown. Not enough evidence to overturn it. So they didn't overturn it. Sorry about you. I wonder what that parade's going to be like. Kansas City. I mean, Chiefs Kingdom is... They roll deep. I think it's going to be pretty big. I think Kansas City's parade is going to be... Oh, do you remember that Golden State parade? And they showed that, I don't know how true this was, but they showed that they showed that shot of them going like down a street and there was literally no one there. Complete opposite. There's going to be so many people at the Chiefs parade. So congratulations again, man. Like I said, the first three quarters sucked, but the fourth quarter, everybody turned it on when they needed to. And Chiefs got it done. But now, I had a pretty crazy January, so I was not dabbling in the gambling game. But today, Sunday, I really dove in. And by dove in, I only placed 4 bets. At a 75% clip, though. Listen. I had zero confidence in any of these bets. One of them. One of them for sure, and I'll get to it. But as far as the Super Bowl goes, I had 2 bets. The first bet was Demi Lovato going under 2 minutes in the national anthem, and unofficially, I saw on Twitter that it was 1 minute and 50 seconds. Now, when I was watching it, when she was pausing, like she would go, "And the home of the," and I'm like, come on, sing the fucking song. You know the lyrics. Just sing the song. Stop pausing. And then she hit the Brave. Oh, dude. Listen, this is for real. I saw a stat. There was also an over-under bet for the amount of time that the artist would hold Brave. And the over-under was set at 5. She hit Brave for 12 seconds. Like, I get it. You got great vocals and you want to show them off. 12 seconds? I don't even think I could hold my breath for 12 seconds. That's a lie. I can't. But that's a long time, man. And I got nervous. I was like, I don't think she did it. There's no way, because I wasn't timing it. I should have been. But I'm like, there's no way. And then I went on to the old gambling account. Cha-ching. Saw that profit. I'm like, oh, bet. Sweet. And then the next one took lemon lime. Yellow/lemon lime for the Gatorade shower. A lot of people were saying that whatever team, I heard this on Barstool, pardon my take. There was a rumor going around that both teams had purple Gatorade in honor of Kobe Bryant. And then I was like, oh, man, well, that sucks. Because purple went all the way down to minus 150, the odds. And then I was like, well, okay, I get the honoring Kobe thing, but yellow is also a Laker color too, so maybe, no, it was orange. Yeah. Yep, it was orange. Underrated flavor of Gatorade, by the way. I'm not mad I lost that bet. Not mad at all. I'm going to stick up for orange because that's top 3 favorite Gatorades. First one's blue, the light blue one. Dark blue sucks. Purple's okay. Yellow, not a huge fan. Red, not a huge fan either. Yeah. But, so that was the only bet I lost. Now, I placed 2 bets in the morning that I was like, yeah, all right, you know what? I haven't been dabbling, so why? Well, you know what? Why not? So the Penguins and the Capitals were playing, and I was like, all right, let's see. I have no idea who's going to win this game, but the over/under is 6.5. Let me take the over. Didn't watch a lick of this game. None at all. Then I asked Siri, I'm like, hey, what's the score of the Penguins game? Penguins won 4-3. I'm like, okay, 4 plus carry the 1 minus 4. So divide by 6. 7. 7. That's more than 6.5. Okay, sweet. I won that bet. Awesome. I didn't even watch the game. That was cool. And then 2 o'clock rolled around, and I was like, yep, got to bet the Bulls game, and they're playing Toronto. Ooh, 10.5 is the line. Yep, I'm going to take the Raptors minus 10.5. And the only reason why I took the Raptors minus 10.5 is because I saw that they won 10 straight. Because I feel like the Bulls, I know they lost by what'd they lose by? Like 17 couple days ago, and then they lost by 8. I mean they're around there. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm looking at the line, like, yeah, okay, 10.5. No, I think the Raptors are gonna run away with this one. So took them minus 10.5, and I was watching I watched the entire game, and the Bulls having a 63-60 lead going into halftime. I was like, all right, well, I guess I can't be too mad because the Bulls might win this game. And then I was like, no, they're not a third quarter team. They're going to blow this. And sure as shit, they did. Raptors absolutely ran away with it. What they win by? 20, 24, 25, something like that? Bro, this is where Jim Boylan comes in, and you can't even bet on games now with the Bulls because Jim Boylan's their coach. But nonetheless, won the bet. So went 3 for 4 today. Felt pretty good after being benched on the disabled list. Unhealthy scratched. And I think I'm back in it, man. Which leads me to really the only bet that I like, and I'll get into more of it. Probably I'll tweet some out, the ones that pop up. But the bet that I really like hammer-worthy, like lumberjack axe cut down a bunch of trees worthy. Blackhawks play the Minnesota Wild on Tuesday in Minnesota, where they are dominant. Minnesota is struggling. Hawks are fucking back. Hammer the Hawks. Whatever the money line is, even if it's minus 220, hammer it. Hammer it. You have to take the Blackhawks in Minnesota. You have to. And I'm trying this new thing now, by the way. We're going to get to some voicemails here. I'm going to like interlude this thing, so let me know what you guys think about it. Just let me know. Okay, clearly I'm rusty because I almost forgot to talk about the most exciting thing that's going on in Chicago. The Blackhawks are back. We'll get to more of it in the voicemails, and the interlude's coming, I promise. But the Hawks coming off the All-Star break, and Patrick Kane finally got cheered in St. Louis, which was a big mistake. I think they literally thought someone else scored, and they cheered, but that's whatever. Coming into Arizona and playing as well as they did, they're back. They're back. They're back. There's no doubt they're back. Corey Crawford, listen. I'm going to die on this hill too. Corey Crawford played out of his mind on Saturday. Out of his mind. Made unbelievable saves, timely saves, kept him in the game when they kind of teetered in that second period. But the whole team played well. Overall, the whole team. Brandon Saad scoring 2 goals is awesome. DeBrincat, good chances. He needs to pick it up, though. 12 goals? Are you kidding? Come on. Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews in the shootout. I mean, this was vintage Hawks. This was like 2010, 2013 Hawks. Toews and Kane in the shootout. Crawford in the shootout. All 3 of them playing well right now. I'm so excited. Minnesota on Tuesday. Boston on Wednesday on national TV. Boston I'm a little nervous about. They play both of these teams very well. I think Minnesota is going to be a win. But Boston, I have no idea. But as of right now, the Hawks sit 3 points out of a wild card spot. Calgary actually got bumped down, so they're number 1 in the wild card. Number 2 is Arizona. Number 3 is Chicago, and number 4 is Winnipeg. Double checking on Winnipeg's point total. I have no idea what it is right now. But Hawks are 3 points behind Arizona and 4 points behind Calgary for that. They're in the mix, man. This is what we wanted. I don't necessarily think we expected them to run away with the division or battle for the division. I don't think we expected that. I think this is where we expected them to be. I think, obviously, people, players need to pick it up. However, and I still hate Jeremy Collin. Still, I'm never going to like him, I don't think, unless he wins a cup. But we're good here. I think the next couple weeks, and a lot of quote-unquote experts are saying this, that the next couple weeks are going to be the deciding factor whether the Hawks are buyers or sellers at the deadline. Ooh, it's interesting. It's real interesting. I thought for the past probably month that Corey Crawford is just going to be on another team. He's going to help somebody else in the playoffs. That's the way it's going to be. Gustafson's going to go maybe. I don't know. Maybe they all go. I don't know, man. But if they're buyers, I didn't even think about that. Who do you go and get? A scorer, hopefully. Could you argue defense? Sure. But a scorer would be nice. But who do you get? I think that's the question of this podcast. Of this specific podcast. And I got to start doing like a question of the podcast to engage you guys a little bit here. Who, if the Blackhawks are buyers at the deadline, who do they go and get? And don't be like unreal. Be like realistic about this. Really take a little bit of time and think about who the Blackhawks would go and get if they were buyers at the deadline. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're on pretty much every other platform, go ahead and tweet me at ParttimerPod. Also on Twitter now, Shy Sports Josh. I had to make a personal Twitter account because there's some things that I want to talk about on Twitter that I don't really want the podcast to be known for. Also, definitely doing a giveaway on Twitter when we reach 1,000 or when we reach 3,000 followers. We're about 525 away. So a long way to go, but nonetheless, 3,000 followers, we're doing a giveaway for sure. And I'm looking to do more of those. Okay. I think we're good. Are we good? You good? Looking around the room here, everybody's good? Okay. So here's that interlude I was talking about. Let me know if you like it in the comments. Let me know if you hate it. Shoot me a text and be like, what's up, bitch? You're fucking terrible. Okay? Here it is. Alrighty. Let's get to some texts and voicemails. It's my favorite part of the show. If you want to be a part of the Part-Timer Podcast, 815-714-9044 is the number. Send in your texts and your voicemails and make them interesting. No pressure. Got a voicemail from the infamous Wisconsin Carl, which is always my favorite. And let's see what the old Wisconsinite has for us.
It's Wisconsin Carl again. Real original picking on the Scanny for using his fork to eat the cereal. Not my fault the Cheerios just go better on the prongs of the fork. Anyway, I wanted to touch on the Chicago Blackhawks. You had a caller asking about who to build a team around. I think they need to start from the ground up. Their defense isn't that great. You're right, they can win any game. They're scoring 5 goals, but I mean, who can't? They need to get rid of, need to let the past die. I mean, they're still trying to make Andrew Shaw a real thing. They had him back on the team. Seabrook and Keith haven't done anything for a very long time. They just need to get a defense. Gustafson's all right, but, you know, he's been in the league for a while. If you're going to build a team around him, they should have done it a couple years ago. But, yeah, that's my take on it. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. See you later.
All right, Carl, if that is your real name, thanks for the voicemail. Listen, I think this might be one of the first times where we pretty much disagree. I'll try and keep it short. I think Duncan Keith is having a pretty good year, especially ever since he revitalized that locker room and kind of went after everybody and said that they needed to play with a bigger attitude. He had an extremely good year last year. Eric Gustafsson is historically bad this year, and they have a lot of depth coming up from the AHL. I mean, Bovquist is trying to find himself in the league, and I think really it's the fact that the system sucks, and I'll die on that hill. And you know, they don't have much. They don't have much scoring power, to be honest with you. I mean, other than Kane and Kubalik, it's pretty sad to look at. Taves is having a good year off the puck and on the faceoffs and, you know, the whole nine. But DeBrincat is bad. 41 goals to 12 this year. Hopefully he'll streak eventually. I'm not sure. I mean, Saad had 2 goals against Arizona, which is good, but I think they just got to pick it up overall. In every aspect, I think it's just it's one of those things where if they can improve a little bit in every aspect, I think they'll be okay, and I think they can make the playoffs. So we'll agree to disagree, I guess. All right, let's get to some text messages. Okay, first text message from 219. I'll paraphrase here. It's a little long. Basically, bringing up John Morant's attempt over Kevin Love with the iconic Vince Carter dunk that he didn't finish. Basically asking if I think John Morant is going to be a force because he's playing so well this year for years to come. And will he stick in Memphis or will he try and chase a ring elsewhere? Listen, I think John Morant is going to win Rookie of the Year. I mean, rightfully so. I don't think you can even throw Zion Williamson in the mix because he came back so late. And I think John Morant is going to be an extremely talented player. I don't think he sticks in Memphis. I think Memphis is one of those places where, yeah, they'll make the playoffs here and there, but I think they don't do the best job of. This is going to sound really like I'm a tryhard, but systemically they don't keep their talent, and they don't have young guys who can turn into, talented players down the road. If that they don't breed talent in Memphis, so I think he goes somewhere else. And unfortunately for Memphis, they got to make those changes if they want players like John Morant to stick around. Ryan from the Big J and BB Show. Shout out to that podcast, by the way. Check them out wherever you listen to your podcasts. They're pretty much everywhere. He says that the NFL season is coming to a close tonight. Yep, it sure did. XFL starts next weekend, so who are you going to root for? And also, what's your favorite Kobe Bryant memory? Hashtag RIP Mamba. Yeah, don't make me cry on this podcast. XFL, I got to be completely honest, man. I haven't checked that out at all. I know a lot of people were like going nuts over the uniforms. And don't they have like a team ball that they use? Or was that like a collection thing? I have no idea. Is there a Chicago team? Who's like the Midwest team? That's probably who I'll go with. But like mid-season, because it hasn't gotten on my radar as much as it should or other people have. As far as the Kobe thing, man, it's so hard to pick. There's so many. I mean, it's. I'm going to say the 81-point game, only because growing up watching basketball, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, 81 point. Like some teams, the Bulls scored 81 points a couple games ago, and he scored 81 points in one game. He's just. I can't even talk about it. Kobe was a huge part of a lot of people's lives, and I would be lying if I cried more or less than once throughout the past or throughout the couple days after everything happened. So, yeah, RIP Mamba for sure. From Corey, again, bringing up the fact that football's over. I think people are happy about this. Football season is coming to a close. Baseball season is on everybody's radar. Everybody's ready for it, but the Hawks are back, and they're putting an end to that. The Blackhawks are fucking back. Hashtag Let's Go Hawks, and the police siren that everybody uses as goal horn. Yeah, they're back as hell, and I'm super, super excited that they're finally getting their heads out of their asses and playing some good hockey. Is it sustainable? I have no idea. Hopefully, because playoff hockey is the absolute best, and it's even better with the Hawks in it. So I'm hoping, man, they're LF fucking G, man. Let's fucking go. I think that's what that stands for. Okay, so that is going to do it for the text messages. Thank you for sending those in. I know a couple of them were pretty dated, but that's all right. If you want to be a part of the show, 815-714-9044. You can leave a voicemail or a text. Pretty much no holds bar. That's going to do it for the episode. I'm sorry that it was delayed. Had a crazy January. We'll see you guys next time on the Part-Timer Podcast.